Hello, good people of the internet. We're here. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Take your seat. When we start, it's a beautiful March 8th, 2024, and we are launching off our first live stream, which features, because you requested it, the SM7 by Shuri that has been sitting on the shelf for quite some time when I am not using it, obviously. So, here we're probably gonna do some different mic tests and things in the next episodes. Hello, Marco. Welcome. Well met. And I just have to remember to look at the right cameras here because I don't want to have something on the other side. And we were talking about that on Discord about microphones and things. So I do my videos with a lavalier mic. I don't like microphones that force me to kind of, do the radio thing. But there's also alternatives to them. Now, the SM7 is super famous. So because I had one also for recording vocals and things, we discussed it and we said, okay, well, I'm gonna use it so you can hear how it is. Now what you're hearing, because this is a music production live stream, so people are like super interested in stuff, this is with the high pass filter and with the notch up, so with the what is called like the bump, the high frequency bump. So we were discussing this as well. Nobody's interested in hearing the flat SM7. I don't know why, because to me, I've always kind of tracked it flat. But this is the high pass version with the high frequency bump. So doesn't matter how it sounds, the SM7 is always super ready sounding, right? It has this thing where it just sounds good. It's a microphone that I really love for tracking vocals and doing stuff, especially if you tighten the stand properly, because this thing tends to be heavier than most people realize, and also has kind of a weird T-bone stand or like support that it sits on. And because of that, it doesn't quite reach the angles that you would want. So you always have to tilt it. You can leave off with it, right? But the connector is always there. So, and there's a ton of different versions that Shure released in the last years. Like, I wouldn't say cheaper, but like less expensive versions. So this is what we're going to use. Now, you should set it in a way that it's not bothering you when you're doing things, but also that doesn't bother the shot. And because this is a dynamic mic, likes to sit in front of your face to sound good, doesn't fear proximity effects and all that stuff. Actually, probably sounds more authentic to what was tracked. It's always in the shot. And I don't like this thing being in the shot. So next week, for next Friday's live stream, we're going to test a microphone that you probably don't know, that I managed to get. It's not mine, but I can use it. And it's not a 416, just so you know. It's not a Sennheiser 416, which is the de facto standard, but costs from $8 to $1,000, $800 to $1,000. But it's something that you would, if I told you that it was a 416 with just a little bit of EQ, you would probably believe it's a 416. It's that good. And it has a couple advantages over the 416, because the 416 wants to have phantom power, which you can't always deliver with a simple AA battery. That one can do it. So talk about that. The beautiful stuff about that, because it's a shotgun mic I'm talking about, is that will be outside of the shot and will not have me, just cant my head and do all that stuff that I can't quite like. But this setting kind of works. I've been, I don't have room on my table, on my desk to do that. So I'm using a stand that's coming from the bottom of my table. It works. It's a professional work. But if I switch camera here, this microphone's not in the way of me talking to you. So I can do, two angles. We can discuss stuff. We can move stuff around, because I like to kind of, handle things out. And it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. It doesn't have to be 100% always. You don't need to be on a vice just to do that. So this is it. This is cool. And this is Friday. So it's a beautiful day here in Bayern. And it was a bit cold, actually. And we're starting off with one kind of a live stream. I'm telling you this. We have about an hour and a half, 2 hours to talk. I know people always come in when I'm, not probably about to close the stream, but this will be recorded and you can also watch that. But just don't leave just because it's recorded, because people like to watch things live. I have my chat here, so if you send me anything, I can reply, and it's like super real time. So by the time you type a question, I can kind of read it because I have you right there. There's one thing I want to not talk about, but I want to show you that I found in my bag of. This is old, people. This is old. So what you see here, minus the compact disc, because there was a compact disc accompanying this. This is my, look at how glossy this thing is. Right. Okay. Well, it's been sitting into a bag of memorabilia stuff. So it's got some signs and things, but this was my media kit. This was my media kit as a keyboard player. Keyboard player, whatever you want to say, pianist, whatever. As somebody who plays black and white keys. This was my media kit. So I designed this. I had it printed. I have the Illustrator and Photoshop stuff. Like, I did these entirely by myself. And I'm going to show it to you on camera. Okay, well, we need some lighting, obviously. So it unfolds differently. That's my name, obviously, last name. Look at that. How cool that is. And on the back, there's just one line, one red line, like a laser kind of thing. All right. So this opens this way. Look at this, is awesome. This opens this way, and there used to be here like a CD with music I had written and stuff, and a business card, which is still here. You can see my business card. I'm gonna put it closer to the mic. This is insane. This is 2006. No. This is end of 2005. I don't think there's anything here from six. I don't want to spoil it for you. Yeah, well, okay, no, it's 2006. Okay, so my business card. That was my first business card. Here it is. Look at this thing. Look at this. It's kind of a matte black kind of thing. Piano and keyboards. Alberto Rizzo Schettino, and there's actually my Mac email address, which is no longer valid. And there's, oh, nice. Studio Live, songwriting, recording, multimedia, video scoring, soundtracks, education. This was my media kit, because in 2006, you would make still media kits of your own self. So this is my Clavia Nord endorsement picture that I put also in the media kit. Look at how cool this is. All right. This is me. How cool that is. And I have here a Nord lead. I think that's a 3. I've had quite a lot of Nord gear because of the endorsements and stuff. Still bought them, didn't get them for free, except one for one time. Then I had to send it back. The Nord lead 3, the Electro 273, and I think this is a Nord stage. Yes, that's a Nord stage. Okay. So, and then this thing opens. I mean, this is beautiful. This opens to this. So there's studio gear, my most recent projects, little bit of biography, and just some shots, because you wanted people, and there's actually the old website address of mine that I no longer have. So the projects were part of the compact disc you will get here. Look, there's this beautiful sun, sort of like red sun, and sort of an eclipse thing. There's the endorsements here that I had at the time, which were Clavia, Carvin, Ultimate, and Yamaha. I mean, I was 25, huh? Then not bad, huh? All right. And Apple, because I had a friend at Sunset Boulevard doing an Apple store thing. So that's nice. And well, it's song says about stuff, says, talks about the gear I have. Look at I have to show you the pictures here. Look at this. Look at this thing. And it still looks fantastic, like the glossy paper. Look at this is what is it here? Not to work backwards. Look at this. Nice. I love that, these sort of like olive drab shirt, and then I had a black t-shirt with a red star. I don't know if you're even allowed to use this type of logos anymore. There's Playtime, there's records and EPs that I've made. The CSI New York intro music, the iPod ad, the excerpt from my academic sort of background, the records that I mean, my very first demos here, and then Touch and Rock Fusion, two EPs from 2003 and three. So I mean, this was just I had to show you this because it's just too cool. And it starts off with curiosity is probably the most relevant aspect in Alberto's constant musical exploration and personal development. That's how it starts off the about. Then there's the bio. I mean, 25, what can you write as a bio at 25 years of age? Unless you're like an enfant prodige, which I wasn't for sure. What can you write at 25 years old? Well, yet you had to make a media kit. So this stuff is vintage and it's useless because all of the phone numbers are wrong. They no longer exist. My email addresses, they no longer exist. The music, well, the music still does, but you always say like, oh, it's kind of too old. I don't want people to hear that. The website addresses are all they are inexistent. I don't even know what kind of website are they. I'm not even gonna say which URL it is because if you go there, chances are there's something. Look at this. Created in April 2005 in Los Angeles, California. And this was personal pictures cannot be used without authorization. Every brand and graphic logo is copyright of its owner. This was serious stuff. And I was kind of happy I did this. You'd be surprised when you have a media kit, when you had because I don't know if you do you do media kits? Have you ever had a media kit as a DJ, music producer, recording artist person? Have you? That's a good question. Have you ever done a media kit? Have you ever done headshots? Not in Call of Duty, headshots in black and white pictures that people can look at and say like, "Well, that's a pretty good keyboards player for the band that we're auditioning for." That stuff. Media kits in 2006, they were on the borderline, in my opinion, of getting completely eradicated. But I had to show you this. And you don't know how many I have. I think I have around probably 50 more, 60, 7, 80 in a bag or something, like in a box, because you wouldn't give so many of them out as you expected. People were like, "Oh yes, of course, no, don't bother giving us a media kit. Just drop by tomorrow." And you'll be like, "Okay," and you had this, and you just would bring it back home. Amazing, but I mean, this is 2006, people, 25. How good is that? I was once 25. That's pretty good. So that's one we should start pretty much all the time with memorabilia kind of things. That would be cool. That'd be cool. So what are we going to talk about today? I like this camera better just because it shows a little bit more of the room. I don't know if you like this camera better. Do you like this camera better? Maybe you do like this camera better. Well, through my amazing rotational skills of my chair, I can do both. So we can kind of move things around, but I think this is kind of a little bit well, I don't know, maybe this is the better shot. This is really what the pros would use, but I will not. I will probably move here. I like these better. So, what are we talking about today? We started off with memorabilia stuff. That's pretty good. You gotta admit that is good. And second of all, we have what have I been doing for this week? This week I've been probably not finishing some UAD videos because the master classes are coming out. We have 2 episodes out on Discord. So if you're, we have the Avalon 737 SP channel strip masterclass and the Empirical Labs Distressor already out. And they're both kind of 20 minutes each. But there's 8 more episodes coming out on my Patreon, and this is the full masterclass. But the beautiful thing is that There are going to also be, if you're a member, if you're subscribed to Groove 3, I'm a mentor there because I'm, that good. So I'm on groove3.com, and the class will be there. UAD Spark Explained Season 2. That's how I called it, but it's like part 2. And there will be the Helios 69 and the Manly Varimu plugins in there. So it's part of part 2, and I've done them this week because they just came out, and I wanted to do it because they're nice plugins. So I thought I would add something new. There's tons of there's compressors, there's channel strips, there's reverbs, there's it's a variety of things. I haven't done just the compressors. Don't forget, there's also UAG Spark Explained Series 1, which has already kind of 12 plugins, 10, 12 plugins, something like that, including the Studer, including the Neves, including the Pool Tech Collection stuff, right? Good stuff. So that one I've been doing. And then there's also the courses, the teaching that I've done as usual. And I've prepared some mixes that I have to do. I've been doing something very curious, like yesterday and 2 days before. Like, I've been a mix bus engineer. I don't know if you've ever done that. Have you ever been hired as a mix bus engineer? What does a mix bus engineer do? I've completely invented this term, but I was hired by a former student of mine to retouch and define the mix bus of his mixing session, which will reflect also in his record, because it's kind of not a template, but kind of something that works on 2 songs. I've started obviously with one, and we transpose it to the second one, but it should be a method that he wants to apply to the entire record. So I've become mix bus engineer. You're not mixing the record, you're not recording, you're not mastering, you're actually taking care of the mix bus. I don't know. That's become a thing apparently. And it's just, make it better for some reason. And it became better. So that's also something I have done. But, just spring taking over gardening, RC cars, those things happening. What is there to not talk about that much or discuss? But there is something very controversial that I wanted to talk about, because we've had a number of I've seen this topic come around a lot, and I wanted to talk about it because I know you've been sort of not discussing it too much, but it's something about videos and things that happen a lot that, I've read it around. And it's related to the question that you also asked me about, do you get paid for videos that you do? Do you ask for money when you make videos? How does it work? That's something that, in the questions that I had asked in social networks, especially mostly my Mastodon fans, it's not fans, friends, and on Twitter, because to me that's still Twitter. I kind of got this question, and I kind of read it about a lot in recent times. So there's a ton of that happening as influencer criticism in Italy as well, because of a couple famous influencers who you are in the center of a storm because of things they've done and things. So, people have asked me, like, how does it work? I don't think anybody has talked about it, to be honest with you. I don't know. Or maybe there are. Let me know if there's influencers, or which I am not, but if there's influencers or people who have YouTube channels that I've been doing this. The question that I have been asked is kind of direct. I don't know if do you get paid, or what do you think about getting paid to do videos like you do? Are your videos free? Do you make them for free? Do you get free plugins in return? How does it work? Okay. So the videos I do are not free. I get paid for the videos I do. That's why I told you it's a controversial thing. I don't specifically get paid myself for the sort of performance. How can you call that? Performance. But I get paid because I have an assistant with whom I edit the videos. Now she doesn't. It's the daughter of a good friend of mine in Berlin, and she's studying media production and video editing as well. So it started off, he was my studio manager, dear friend, co-owner of the studio in Berlin. So he has a daughter, actually two, and the older one is in university and she's studying that. So she started doing assistant job for me, and I pay her on a monthly basis depending on how many videos we do and things. So I don't directly get paid for the videos I make, but I get money. I ask for money to pay her. So it doesn't cover a single video unless it's in a humongous amount of work. It doesn't cover, I don't ask for the payment to cover what I pay her entirely, but it certainly helps my monthly wage to her. Hi, Angie, if you're watching this, by the way. You probably not, but maybe you do. So we've been doing these for a good couple of years, I think. Now maybe this is the third one. So we've been doing this before the Patreon started and all that. So she gets money every month as an assistant would need to. You know who we are. But the money I get for the video production helps her. So it covers part of my expenses. So in a way, I get money. Indirectly, I do, because I would pay her and I pay her less because I have help from the videos. But the videos that you see public on my website, and this is where it's controversial, we're going to get there, they're not free. I get money from the companies who make the plugins, for example, if it's a plugin. Now, it's not always 100% like that, but most, if not all of the videos that I've done recently are paid videos. Now, why is this controversial and why have probably people been asking that? And I think it's a topic that the internet doesn't really cover. So I don't know if I'm going to get destroyed by this, by other people's opinions. I don't care. I don't care. I just want to put it out there because I think it's, there's nothing dishonest and there's nothing wrong. But I noticed that the YouTube people, the influencer people, the way of making money with YouTube, there's a lot of information that is not really out there. We talk about how depressing the music scene is. We talk about how hard the times are for gigging and recording, but we never actually really answer the questions that I was asked on the very first time I've asked people, hi, I'm going to do a live stream. Do you have questions that you want answered? The second, probably, or first question that I got was, do you get paid with the videos you do, or do you do them for free? How does it work? Can you talk about that? Straight right off the bat. So I'm thinking either I am very fortunate to get this kind of, audience, or most influencers and most people that talk, and again, I'm not one because I don't have the numbers and I educate, I don't influence people. That's why I probably am not that famous. There's also lack of talent that makes me not famous, but there's a second reason, that is the unpopular topic and workflow I do. I don't care. I like my people, the people that follow me. I think education comes first all the time. Influencing is temporary. I believe in the long-term trust that we build together if I don't hit the mic. Okay. So this is how it is. Now, when I make videos, again, I don't know if people have been answering that or not, but I've seen a little bit of a kind of a shady behavior. Okay. So I'm going to answer it right off the bat. As I said, my videos are not free. A company asks me if I'm interested in making a video for an upcoming product. This has been going on for quite some years. And the first thing, I have almost email templates that I use to reply to them, because there's times in which you get a lot in a week. I tell them that I am interested in that. But the first thing I have to do is I tell them how it works. And this is how it works for me. I test the plugin, and if it's a plugin that I find useful in some way, not broken, legit, not something that is just teasing people to spend money on something that doesn't quite add anything, or I don't gel with the plugin, because it happens that I the plugin is legit, but I don't find ways to, for example, make my music better with it significantly. If it doesn't work, I cannot, you know, do it. I cannot do the video because what happens is I am not that good at bullshitting you, at BSing you. I am not that good at pretending I like something when I don't. And this has again been hindering my career. Trust me, because people know that I cannot really be put on a leash and behave. And most corporate environments don't really look for outstanding talent, which again, I am also lacking. But there's the second thing, they want people they can trust. And people like me, or I myself have sometimes issues just keeping my voice down when something doesn't work. I don't necessarily suggest improvements all the time. I don't care about spending my free time constantly suggesting how to improve something. Who cares? Some people will do it on their own. I'm not the improvement guy all the time. But you can really tell when I am not 100% into something. And this will translate into bad publicity. So I don't do it for myself because it also will hurt my own reputation. So if something, a plugin, for example, doesn't work for me, I don't do the video. I tell the company, I've tried the demo, it doesn't work. I've done it a lot. There's a lot of plugins I have turned down. And there's half of the companies, I'm going to be under, I cannot name names and I shall not name names, but there's half of the companies that are totally okay with it. And with these companies, I like to offer explanations on why it didn't work for me if they want me to, because it takes a lot of time to actually formulate something constructive. But on the other hand, there's half of the companies that really get pissed off about the fact that I say it doesn't work for me. I imagine there's also a sort of a domino effect that they believe will happen. And that is the people that study with me, my students, my followers, people that when they ask me, oh, this thing is new, have you tried it? I might tell them, I did. It doesn't work for me. And this will translate to people who trust me in not buying something. So the companies, half of them are completely fine. The other half are super pissed off. But what matters is I don't do the video. I don't do a video that is detrimental to them and to me. And so I don't do it. If I like the video, I get money from it. I will not tell you how much, but I do get money from it. That money is not for my appearance, is not for my opinion. That is the controversial fact that I've been reading a lot about and that we're discussing today. And by all means, feel free to chime in the chat and let me know if I'm completely off the mark. If you think I'm insane, if you think it's weird, whatever, this is about, confronting each other with opinions. Of course, this is just me as a human being with opinions. And if I like the video, the plugin passes my initial tests and I like it, and it actually, I gotta admit, the companies that reached out to me, most of them, or most not, but I would say a good half knows why I do things the way I do. And so if they ask me to test a plugin they've been making and they're about to release, they are 100% honest with themselves. 2, they've been putting tons of man hours behind the plugin. And 3, they are kind of knowing that I will like the plugin because they know what they have, or they have chances that I will like it. So I tried it and something works and I go like, wow, this is really good. Thanks for, sending me that. This is great. And I will make the videos. So I get money from the videos. Again, I will not tell you how much, but that money is not for my opinion and is not for my appearance, for my gig, for my performance, for my music. Even if I have to write something just for the plugin itself, which rarely happens now because I'm constantly writing new ideas for soundtracks and things that I pitch to companies, developers, distributors, publishing companies, and so on and so forth. I don't get money from it, but I get money so that my assistant gets paid for the video we're making, which helps my monthly payments to her. So I am getting money that helps me. It's just not considering my appearance. It's just the editing and the work. So what happens is I record the footage in here, and then I send, if Angelina is doing it, I send her footage via, for example, WeTransfer, and we have a template in place that she will load, and we will use it to just keep editing. So she renders a kind of a stupid low res version. Once done, I watch it. 98% of the time it works, and she sends me back the session with which I will render the video, because I don't, and this is, I think everybody should do that. I don't want my assistant to use her laptop, in her case, to render a video. She will send me back the session. I have a bit of a computer that can stay on and just, do the renders, and I will render that footage on my own, because we both have the footage. And so for that reason, it doesn't make sense that she renders it. I will render it. If there's subtle changes, little things to do, I will do them so that she doesn't have to do more, and so on and so forth. Render it, send it. I publish the video, and then like 15, 30 days later, I send the invoice out. And that invoice will then get paid, and my assistant will get the money at the end of the month that has received such money. That is 100% how it works. 100%. Now, as I said, why is this controversial? Why are the people talking about this thing? Why are influencers, which again I am not, I don't have the numbers to do that. Why are people saying, well, you should not get paid, or this is altering the balance of the objectivity of a person? Because if I get paid, my interest is to get the most amount of money out of possible plugin jobs. And for that reason, the more videos I do, the more money I get. And if my assistant is paid in full for what she needs out of my videos, I don't have to pay her. And if it's extra money, I get to keep it, for example. No? So my interest would be to say just good stuff about the videos. And because I'm getting paid, it's not honest. So because I've now told you that my videos, the public videos on YouTube, most of them that I have are paid by the companies who make those plugins. If I told you that right off the bat, I am dishonest. To some people, I am gonna be dishonest because I intend to get that company the comfort zone of hiring me again. Okay? And I understand that. So first off, it's a matter of trust, which nobody has anymore. I understand that as well. And 2020 put a toll on all this. So that's for sure. But number one, it's a matter of trust. If you believe that I am honest with what I do, then you believe it that I am honest, and you will look at the things that I'm doing. Second, if you consider that I am dishonest, you will not watch the video and you're done with it. But if I am dishonest and I am telling you that everything is good, don't you believe that you will find out and you will stop watching my stuff? So let's even pretend that I am not interested in music education to a higher degree of just doing things right, which I guarantee you that's exactly who I am. I am super interested in that, and I go well beyond the financial revenue of anything I've done in my life. In fact, I'm not rich by all means because I didn't get a lot of money for doing things the right way, unfortunately. However, even if I were merely interested in the business of it, why would I say yes to every brand and do every kind of video just saying that it's good when things are not good? I will get called out sooner or later, much sooner than later. I will. And people will say, well, this guy just says yes to everybody. In fact, This has happened already. There's a ton of very influential people in the audio industry who are now facing this. Oh my God, he just said something completely the opposite. Like 1 month, he was completely invested into something, and then he did the complete opposite on something else. It can happen to a certain degree, but this is something else that I would like to educate you on, to spot how people can do this, getting paid for their time as professionals, but still being honest. Okay? Here's the thing: you are doing things professionally, so you're getting paid for it, but there might be there might come a tool that I didn't use and I didn't have. For example, I don't know, a new equalizer plugin or a new multi-band compressor. I don't know, something that you incorporate into your workflow. And sometimes there's videos, if you've watched video of me doing it, there's videos in which I've said I actually started using this in a latest project. So it could be something that works for a project that comes in. It could be something that you want to add to your own template as a composer, for example. But it's very unlikely that a professional producer will change the foundation of their music production system 3 times in a year or every 2 months. It is completely unlikely. And so, for that reason, somebody who's got a specific console, workspace, expensive patch base, and a month after has a completely different setup, and 2 months after has another completely different setup, is somebody I really cannot understand. And so for that reason, I would believe, okay, well, you can spot that stuff and say that those things, he's either completely endorsed by brands, so he's not paying for anything, but he's not telling you that. He's telling you that that's what he likes to use and that he bought just so that you can buy into it, of course. Or he's stupidly rich, and I'm saying his, but she's or they're stupidly rich and they like to change their setups every 2 months. Either way, that is not a professional that I want to follow. That is an entertainer, maybe, which in my case, it wouldn't be that entertaining. So that's somebody who is aiming at entertaining people or just doing telemarketing or that stuff. I don't know. I am not interested in those people, but maybe you are. I doubt it, but maybe somebody is. That's okay. But if something is completely overthrowing a professional way of doing music in some cases, I find that extremely suspicious. Now, if in 2 years something changes drastically, that could happen. For example, I've had this mastering desk for since what? It's now 13 years, or maybe not. Maybe it's 12. This should be the 12th or 13th year that I have this desk, and it's 6 years I have these two rack furniture things, the twins here. I've added synthesizers, I've added pedals, but there's pedals I've owned for 15 years, 17 years, 20 years. I still have them. They're also no longer in production, so I cannot get endorsements out of them. I got some things for free I didn't like, and thank you very much for it. I keep it. I use it in some sessions. I make it available to clients, for example, musicians that play. Absolutely, that's fine. But I never got things for free just to showcase them. I'm not that famous. I am not that famous. I am not that, I don't know, talented with music, with marketing, with whatever. I don't know. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. People don't get along with me as much as they do with tons of other channels that you probably are subscribed to, right? So, I haven't changed my okay, the MIDI keyboards. The MIDI keyboards I've changed because I've moved the layout. I moved from Berlin to near Munich last year. So I had a MIDI keyboard, but I didn't have my Prophet 12, for example. And the Prophet 12 being close to me here made it impossible to use the Control 61. So I sold the Control 61 and I got these, whatever, what is it? A key step. Awesome. It works on the table. Are you following? Does it make sense to you that this is actually organic? Right? It is. I haven't added any analog device. There's not been any change in the patch base. I haven't gone gold cables or anything. I have very good cables already. That's true. I haven't changed my monitoring. I haven't done videos on my monitoring in years because my monitoring hasn't changed. That is why I'm probably that boring and I don't get tons of billions of views. All right. My Moog Voyager is still my Moog Voyager and it's always there. And I still use it, but people go like, oh gosh, his gods is still Moog Voyager. Why hasn't he got anything new from Moog? I don't buy stuff to use the 14-day return window to just make a video and send it back. I don't get stuff for free. I get discounts on things. Okay. Well, yes. Okay. I also get educational discounts for people in my Patreon, which I also use, because they're for teachers and students alike. And I am a teacher. So I'm also a student, but I'm also a teacher. And so I buy them, at a discounted rate. I don't feel guilty for it. That's okay. But you cannot really just go black and white on he's getting paid for a video, he's dishonest. It's not really like that because as a professional, as people who have assistants editing and doing that, there is an amount of work involved. If I am doing a video for your company because it's a good plugin that I like, it doesn't matter if I like the plugin, it's not justifying you to have a video for free. I would advise anyone watching this video or doing anything else to not do it for free. Because if you think about it, if you ask a company the amount of money that they get from selling 2-3 licenses of a plugin of theirs, why would they say no to your time? They're asking you to review a plugin and make it public so that they can sell plugins that sell for, let's say, $100. Okay. If you get from them the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 licenses, it's 3 licenses. How many are they going to sell? Way more because you did the video. Otherwise, they wouldn't have asked you to do it. They would have done something for somebody else. Why would you do it for free? Don't do it for free. Don't do free stuff. Ever. Not even for your mom. Especially for your parents. Get paid all the time. If there was one person I would do things for free, maybe it used to be my nonna, my grandmother, maybe. Just because you can't, grandparents, you gotta go like, but the old type of grandparents, not the new surrogate grandparents. They're horrible people. They're not real. They're electric, to quote a video, to quote a record, but they're not our friends anymore. They're not the old school grandparents. The old school grandparents were better versions. Well, it's true. I kind of think that. I don't like people who keep being so young when they're so old. Be proud of being old. Well, this is a different topic. We're digressing. It's what the live stream's all about. So, yes, there are people getting paid for any video they will do. Yes, there's going to be people who do it for free, which they shouldn't. And yes, there's people believing that the exposure is going to be good, that they can get money from the monetization of YouTube, whatever. It doesn't work. It's not like that. And in the long term, all of these people will not get the reputation of being an honest individual, which ultimately you got to eat, breathe, go to the toilet, make love to your beautiful partner, and then have cats or dogs or whatever animal you want to have, and then be honest, be clean. There's no other way than be the integrity with which you do life, you do human, is what defines you, and they will find out. I've had people in the past have me record solos or parts of or piano and keyboards and stuff, depending on the record, and then pretend that they had played it instead of me. And they had fans going to them and saying, like, you know what I really love? And I was there. I really love that solo, that part, the keyboard part you played on that song. And that person with was just dying inside because I then found out that they had been mocking things up in the lineup credits and in things so that it would not appear that I had played it. Now, number one, there is a very, very, very stupid Alberto who doesn't do the things right. Because when you do that stuff, you don't have to be just coming with lawyers all around, but you have to be sure that things are diamond cut, okay? Because it's always hard to fix it afterwards. Right mixing, you gotta record it right. But the second thing is, like, how can you live with yourself knowing that your fans are saying that the most beautiful thing you've played in the record is something you haven't played, and go on with your life? I don't want to be that person. So that's how it is. The second thing that I want to discuss, which is still on topic, is that there are companies doing affiliations. Okay. And there are a couple videos of mine that you will see in the past, this probably from a year and a half ago, in which I was running affiliate links. And I did that as an idea to keep paying my assistant without getting charged from the actual video. Now, in theory, being affiliated with a company, which I'm going to cut it right short to you, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't run affiliate with anybody. You're not a rep. You're not doing cheap jokes on people who serve you coffee at music fairs. Leave that completely behind. Don't do it. Don't do it. By all means, don't do it. So the affiliate links thing to me was kind of a way to say, you know what, I could probably get more money out of what I get as people supporting the channel. So you like what you see, you like the review, you buy the plugin through my link, and I get a royalty percentage out of that purchase. And that I can build a cachet of money that will then be used to cover the expenses for the video itself. I ran that, I would say, back to back, saying that some videos would be done the way I've said, with just normal, pay the work I'm doing. And other videos would be like, okay, you don't pay for it, but I'm going to jump on these affiliate link. Let's see it. I gotta say that most of it's not many of them. There could be 3 or 4, maybe even less. Maybe it's 2 of them. Well, they did eventually get the money on par of what I would have asked to that company. But the problem is, people perceive the affiliate links as, in the audio industry, I don't know, maybe for other things it's different, but people perceive that as a more binding relationship with the brand. And for that reason, they tend to believe you're just basically interested in selling that plugin, because that's not a one-time thing. You see the difference in what I'm doing with companies and what the affiliate linking is? The more plugins I sell from the plugin I review in the video, the more money I make. And I don't do that. I know what kind of work the video will require, and if I like the plugin and the company wants to proceed, I ask for a fixed amount. This is what the video will cost, and as I said, those will go to my assistant, which in turn will ease the expenses I have for her. So yes, I am also sort of getting paid, of course, but it's different. Affiliate links will generate unlimited amount of money depending on how much you sell. And so for that reason, it's a riskier thing, because even if you're 100% honest with it, people have a hard time perceiving that you will not push that plugin. you know, and all of a sudden look for that, like, oh, he's using that plugin on a mixing video. Well, it's an affiliate link and he can sell that. Well, maybe this person really believes in the plugin they're affiliate with, but once you build 100 affiliate links with 100 different plugins, again, you know what I'm going to say. Think, how can somebody use 200 plugins and really believe in all of the affiliate links they send? Well, it's kind of hard, you know? And how can it be that they do 200 plugins and 3 months after those brands have disappeared and there's 300 different brands and those are the game changers. Those are the game changers. Have you heard it? Have you heard that story? That fairy tale? The game changers? You know, if you heard it, drop a line in the chat. What's the latest game changer that has not changed the game for you? You know, imagine imagine somebody from the X-Files telling you that with that accent. You know, how many times? You know, it's common, unfortunately, that happens. So it's what it is. So affiliate links I have not run any longer. Also, there's been, I'm slowly slouching on my chair. There's been two companies that I have heard have actually, well, there's allegations of the company skimming on the money that they really owed to the affiliated people. So what happened was a colleague of mine, and again, I cannot name names, basically ran the affiliate link with different people or different accounts and bought the actual plugins he was affiliated with and found out that the sales were not registering. So he confronted the brand and the brand said, well, there is a bug in the system. Of course, we saw it, so on and so forth. And so because he reached out to other people who knew were affiliated, he built quite a case. And he was able to keep it silent because said company with this person agreed on sort of a refund for him and for the other affiliated people, artists who actually were not getting paid on claims of a broken website system, not on a voluntary skimming scheme. Okay. But again, very dirty. Don't like it. So I don't run affiliate links at all. I do work. I get paid for said work. If it goes great to you, fantastic. If it doesn't go great, I get the same amount of money. I don't care. But unless, well, there would be an exception to this, which is if I were to work on a product for, I don't know, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months. That could be a different thing because that now we're in it together. So I have expenses. I have, I don't know, travel expenses. I have time and things I have to do. And so for that reason, well, now maybe I have, a percentage in it, So that is, we sell a plugin. I get a share. We're in a company, shareholders, whatever. That's a different thing. But if you hire me as a third-party pro to do a review, I'm telling you again, just in case you tuned in just right now, are your videos free? This was the question. Are you getting paid for the videos you do? The public videos I do, they're mostly paid for. Not as an affiliate links, not because of revenues I get. I get money for the editing and the production of the video, and that goes to my assistant, period. Some brands like it. Some brands don't even reply to my email anymore. Some brands probably have a hard time justifying the money I ask, even if their plugins cost the same per license. So this is kind of sick. And so the next thing that was that is kind of in line with the answers, that the questions that I had was, do you think analog gear will come back more? What do you think of the digital music production market? Is it stale? Is there anything really new? And I was actually dropping a voice memo, sort of a podcast episode yesterday or 2 days ago, because on our Discord on Patreon, which I have check it out. If you like it, sign up because it's beautiful. It also costs money, which goes for a good cause. But we were just talking about that in my Discord, and we were saying, I was actually replying to the fact that one of the, I don't know if you're here, Gary, but Gary had asked, I don't, I think I don't have good ears anymore. For some reason, I'm starting to believe I really cannot hear the difference in different plugins that I do, that I test or use. They all sound the same. Maybe I don't have good enough ears. So I replied to him and said something along the lines of the answer I would give to the person who asked this question on, I think maybe it was Mastodon or Twitter or something. It was, do you believe plugins are really, digital is really breaking through or not? Do you believe analog will be completely replaced? Has it already been replaced? So what I mostly think is the market for digital plugins is super, super, super saturated. Super saturated. Most of the brands that release plugins, I gotta be 100% honest with you, and this is a hunch and a personal opinion, but it's coming from things I see. The plugin manufacturing process is just there so that some people can make some money. But I don't know how the sales figure are. I know there's a lot of people buying a lot of plugins that they will never use as much. I know there's people buying more than they compose music or they mix music or they make music. We like toys. That's true. We like new toys. It's like RC cars. You're always buying upgrades and checking whatever weight distribution or shocks or tires or whatever, and then go play with your friends and then breaking something and then, changing it, whatever. So I understand there's a hobby value to music production, but the market for, I don't want to say game changers, but the market for plugins and products that really bring something to the table is way slimmer than the actual whole market. And the problem is most of these companies are hitting a plateau in which their game of releasing and their game of constant Black Friday, does it ring any bell? Have you noticed any special offer in periods of time that are not, are you getting blasted by newsletters or is it just me? It's a constant Black Friday all year round, right? Always buy these. It's 200 but it's 20 because it should be 200 but it's 20. It's 500 but it's 20. So buy it now because you will never see a more convenient offer. All that stuff. Does it ring a bell? Is it happening? It is, right? It does, right? So, truth be told, in my opinion, again, most companies are not really developing stuff for the sake of bringing something to the world of music production. They're hunting, they're fishing. They're fishing for cheap sales. And so you would be surprised that a lot of companies, and again, no names, but a lot of companies don't quite pay the people who develop their stuff, or they make it in-house and the sound isn't really that good. And the reason for it is that you have no idea how many plugins I haven't covered because the plugin companies that sent me stuff, I was like, I don't gel with these plugins, sorry. Or they really got pissed because I did comparison videos in which they think I didn't say that it was as good as it should have been, or I have no idea. But anyway, that's how it works. Some developers take it very personal and that's it. But the graphical user interface is certainly being developed nicely. Hey, Doug. Hey there. Hello. So the graphical user interface is certainly being developed. Some companies even hire young 3D artists who believe they will do it for a little bit of exposure or a little bit of an expense paid, but they get nowhere close the money that the company will actually make from the plugins. However, it is also true and should be said that these companies have expenses that the 3D artist that makes the graphical user interface does not have, like, for example, website or e-commerce platforms, right? All that stuff, promotion and things. But in general, the plugin companies don't want to pay you for making reviews. They want to send you a free plugin if you like it, and maybe in 1 year the plugin will expire, and it doesn't quite matter, right? And you do it for free. And if you want it, they will give it for free, and they will kind of introduce you to this concept of being so special because you're getting that plugin for free and you're doing that review, and you're free to say anything you want. Most of those companies, if you say all you really want to say and it's not good, they will not give you the other plugin again. They will not get in touch with you again. But the fact remains that your work should be paid. So the free plugin makes no sense. I mean, it's normal. You get an extended demo version or a demo version that allows you to work with that plugin for X amount of time. That could be 2 weeks, could be 3 weeks, could be 30 days without restrictions so that you can demonstrate it to the people. And then you get paid for the video. And if you like the plugin, I would be okay if it's a honest price to buy the plugin, and have it maybe buy it at an educational discount. That's okay. That I like. But, I get less money from the video production for my assistant, but I also get the plugin, Now, truth be told, I really don't need all the plugins I want to talk about. And so we go back to the initial topic. Am I honest? Are these people honest? Because I am reviewing a plugin that I don't make all the records with, that I don't make, all there, right? So, Kize, you said, how to get that on? I don't understand what. How do you get it started? No, please elaborate on the question. So I'll gladly answer. Are you honest because you're using that plugin? You're not using that plugin? If I were to tell you that each and every plugin I get to review or use is like the next thing that I will use in my records would suck even more than they already do, right? Because which kind of professional adds tools on tools on tools on tools on tools every week, every month or something, just because they're amazing? They're the best screwdriver ever invented. So to hell with my previous screwdriver, I will use that. It doesn't make any sense, right? In fact, the videos I do and the content I do is always to show you the concept behind the utilization of such plugin. What I want you to get and what I want us to sort of cheat the audio company with. And it's a good type of cheat. And the good companies like this. They have no problem with it. What I want to cheat the audio company is that I want to educate people and use okay, Kiz, I get it. How do you start on with it, right? Okay, I will answer that. I will end this and answer that. Kize asks, how do you get started with the job? I can tell you how I started, which I will do that right on. I'm brainstorming things. So I want to educate you on the concept that plugin can elaborate on, and you can look at that plugin and say, okay, I like what that thing is doing, but maybe I can use something else I have because I want to save money. I have other expenses. I have family things. I have my kids. I have my pets, whatever. So let me try. This would be my ultimate amazing goal. If my viewers, my followers, my fans, my students, whatever you want to call them, would watch a video of a plugin that I demonstrate, which is a new plugin. I get contacted by a company that says, "Do you want to do a video review?" As I said, yes, let me try it. If I like it, you pay me and I do the video. But I say everything I want about the video. But if I don't like it, I don't do the video. And they go like, absolutely, Alberto. Thank you very much. That's actually a very honest price. And I have companies that I will not that I have not um, uh, I cannot mention, which paid me more than I have asked, just because they liked what I had done. So yeah, he said, don't worry. You came late. He said, I came late. What is this all about? This is a live stream that I hold every week. And we just talk about, I answer most of the questions that I get during the week. Sometimes I will play stuff. Sometimes we will just produce, I don't know, just show something. I have a question maybe on a DAW or something. We can look at my computer and stuff, but it will mostly chilling out, doing just talking about that. And the two questions I got, one mostly was, do you get paid for the videos you do in public? And how do you get paid and why? And it's also part of the reason a lot of people are saying it's dishonest to get paid for doing a video review. And I've been discussing that a lot. So what I would really love is that people like you who watch a video review that I do will take the concept of why I do something with that plugin and say, I'm not going to use that plugin. I'm going to try and use something I have already because that can save me the money. If you spend time recreating the concept that you heard it at work in a video of mine, you're training your ears and brain and you're trying to explore things your own way. This is the best. Then it could happen that you try everything and you say, darn, that plugin does something that I still miss. Okay, let me buy it, you know? So this would be my utmost goal, right? This would absolutely be. So to answer, Kiza said, like, how did you start? How do you start that? Well, I can tell you, I don't know. I cannot tell you how to be the influencer type of guy or the open your YouTube channel and do things. I am the last person who can tell you because I don't have the numbers to actually do this. I am absolutely unfamous. So I am not influencing. I am not living off the money of my YouTube channel. No, I work, I teach, I compose, I get license scores. Sometimes I write 10, 100 sketches. One gets licensed, maybe gets used, maybe not, blah blah blah. That's my work is made of many many things. I review videos, I produce videos for other companies, blah 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 blah. And I also get paid from YouTube from the videos I do, and then I pay my assistant. But there's better people in the audio channels of these very YouTube platform that willingly maybe they will tell you how to start. And they will, some of them will tell you be genuine, start your YouTube channel the way you want to start it, be yourself, blah blah blah, do your stuff. I don't know if that will work or not. I know I'm genuine. It hasn't brought me the fame of other people. So sessions kids are always the live streams are always Fridays 6 p.m. Central European time. So the other content that I have, shameless plug, is on my Patreon. There's free videos as well on my channel. And there's different tiers in my Patrons. I teach music production. So there's different mixing, music composing, producing music, soundtracks, stuff, all those things. Running a recording studio, running a business in the recording industry, all those things, producing music as a composer, piano and keyboards, all that stuff. So the links are in the descriptions of this live stream. But the live streams are always Friday, 6 p.m. Central European time. They get recorded and they get published as well on YouTube. So the way I started, it was physical. The way I began to do it. Began doing it. All the possible English way of doing it, of saying it, was physical. I started working as a product specialist for two, three important brands in the audio industry, and I would do demonstrations of their products. So I would get hired and paid to do master classes physically with people at my place or in different studios to showcase a specific piece of gear. It wasn't about plugins, it was about gear. So it was keyboards first when I was very, very young, and synthesizers like a Nord Lead, Nord Electro, Nord Stage, Nord C1. This is the products that I have showcased. And then it was hardware units as well. So it was compressors, equalizers, backbone stuff, and things. But I will do it physically. So when the pandemic started in 2020 and I was locked in my house, I started a YouTube channel that I already had, but I started doing live streams like this one and just talk for an hour and a half, something like that. And because of the people I already knew in the industry, which is a lot of them, and because of the work I had done, I either filled the gap because there's always somebody that I know in common with probably somebody has been in the industry for longer than I have been, or we know each other already. For example, some plugin companies were born from people who were doing hardware stuff. They parted ways, they opened their own companies, and I had been working with these people, or maybe with a colleague of theirs, so on and so forth. So, what I have done is very, very far from the typical influencer stuff. I was born in 1981. I'm not that old, but I am still old. I'm not that young. I'm in this limbo of in betweener, but I have always worked old school with old school people. I have learned music old school. I've had old school teachers, old school mentors, and I have been working as an assistant and teacher's assistant and assistant producer, assistant to orchestra directors and conductors, always old school. So read music, transpose, that boring stuff, harmony and theory, like the old things. Play the piano for real. There's no, just play, record. What are you doing? It's wrong. You're fired. That kind of stuff. So real. When the industry became mostly influencing and online people stuff, I haven't joined those ranks from the start. I already knew the people. When I go to Music Messe, when I go to the NAM show, when I go to a Super Booth in Berlin, I already mostly know some of the people that I want to meet. And I have dinners with them. We have a great time together. We catch up. My wife knows them. They know my wife. We're family to most of them. We've been spending time together, eating in, ethnic restaurants, specific types of cuisine, trying new stuff, driving cars together. We're there. We know them for real. If I don't like those people and those people don't like me, we stop working together. Something happened, we don't continue. But there's companies I've been working with, and my wife as well, for over 14 years, 15 even. So that's how it happened. Now, the new type of people, they are first and foremost appearing on YouTube or Twitch. And then when there's a trade fair, they show up at their booth and the company owners go, "Oh, you're the guy who has that YouTube channel." Okay. So if you want to get started on that, I have absolutely no idea how to do it. One thing I would tell you is don't do as I do because it doesn't have the numbers. Don't listen to me. Don't, if you're looking to monetize your ways through and get paid and make a living off YouTube, ask the people who have the numbers. Ask, but go ask direct questions, exactly like the ones I get asked, which I hope for an hour and a half I've been answering, even if it's two core answers. Mostly it's two core questions, but ask them. If people don't want to tell you and they will honestly say, "I don't feel comfortable talking with you about this stuff," they will tell you. If they will just avoid the question, you will notice. So, build your own. Think. I know it's weird. I know it's kind of weird in 2024, but try this amazing thing and think. Don't suppose, don't pretend, try and think. Just the elements you have there are plenty there. So look around if there's other people with bigger numbers that I have who are answering the question, how much money, and which I didn't answer. I haven't told you how much money I get, but do you get paid for the videos you make in public? Now close this stream, even now, close this tab, ciao, bye, and go find somebody else doing these or having done these live. Maybe I'm weird, maybe I'm crazy, maybe try and find out the other person. Maybe they have tens, hundreds of thousands of viewers. Maybe they have people that just complete, it's a different thing. They're them, and I am I. Right? So that's how it works. That's how it is. But I like what I do. I like the approach I do. I like the people who are supporting me. And by the way, if you're watching these for free, because this stream nobody's actually paying for, it's actually covered by they are actually paying for, my patrons are paying for, my students are paying for, the donations I get are paying for. It's there. So that's what it is. There's people who are not subscribed to Patreon that say, wow, you did a really great job. Here's a monthly donation. Here's something that's recurring. I don't want to study with you. I don't care, but I like how you approach things. I don't want to study music. I couldn't care less, but I like how you do it. So here, the sum of all this, yes, it's good money, but it's also honest money, but it's not a gazillion dollars per month for sure. So no. I still have to work hard to buy groceries every month. And I'm telling you, the times aren't easy. People don't like to learn. People don't like to spend time learning the things I can teach. I'm not saying that in these last 10 minutes, what's something I've been realizing for a year or so. The times are very hard. The people, a lot of people have financial issues. I understand that. We always value money a lot, even if we're not in trouble. The money values, everything's more expensive, and so we cut on the non-essentials. And definitely what I do is not essential. I don't sell bread or water or rents or whatever, right? So that's true. However, I also noticed that it's trending to be aggressive. It's trending to be belligerent. And so to sit at a piano, at a keyboard, grab people attention because you're playing live at a bistro bar, whatever. People hate the guts out of these distractions. They don't want background music any longer. They don't want to go at a gig unless it's a very super famous person. They don't quite like to experience live music any longer. But also musicians don't like playing those kind of venues because the energy is kind of weird. So you don't really want to hurt that much each time. You already have your issues as a musician. You don't want more. You also have a tendency to find more, but trouble will find you. You don't always want to go find it as a musician. So one thing is to be a musician and be 20. One thing is to be a musician and be 25. One thing is to be a musician at 43. People, parents, relatives, wives, partners, pets will look at you differently because it's like, what the hell are you doing? But people are not, I'm noticing that people are not that interested in what I can teach. This is kind of sad. I gotta be honest with you. Well, first and foremost, because I don't know if I've lost it somehow. Maybe I am not updating the methods and ways that I should use. So I'm trying to investigate these. I would be curious to know, obviously, what you think about these. By all means, even either now or on Discord or on Patreon, if you want to subscribe, by all means, there's tons of videos, tons of discounts. If you're joining for the discounts, well, there's discounts. Then you can take a look at the content, and some people, stay there. but I would love to hear you in one way or another. Drop me an email, drop a comment on Mastodon or X, whatever, here on YouTube after the video is published. Maybe I don't have it anymore. Maybe I'm kind of already too old for these quick times, or maybe the topics I can teach are no longer interesting to people, or maybe because it's a phase. Maybe they will come back in style. Um, Maybe I am too old school to do some stuff, even if it's DAWs and plugins. I do it too old school. I don't know. Maybe I don't have the latest and greatest uh, enticing things for you. Maybe you would like to do contests and to compete against others, and I don't do that. I don't know, but I'm noticing that I'm losing traction of people a lot. I've never been an easy person to be around with, and I'm really difficult for a lot of the people in real life who know me. I'm not you know I'm not difficult to a point where you don't want to have one time dinner with me. But in the medium long run, I'm heavy probably as a person just because of how I approach studying and routine and method. I am not an easy person to get along with, probably. But I'm a great team player. I respect people. I do things out of professionalism, but I don't really communicate affinity, probably. I don't know. Or complicity. Probably the term I would be looking for is complicity. I will not feel an accomplice to something that is not maybe too pure. And so you can't really find me doing things that then will build secrets to us. And I'm scratching my nose. It's probably meaning it's not true. But I haven't. I'm about to sneeze actually, but I will not. I will try and not do it. So you will not find me doing things that you will be able to blackmail me with. I'm not that person. I don't have sleazy sexual life. I don't have weird eating habits. I don't use people. I don't try and put people in trouble just so that my career can go up. And so I don't build skeletons that then people can blackmail me with. And this is problematic. Politics, you need people like that. Unfortunately, most people in politics are like that. You need to be able to be blackmailed so they know they can trust you. So I'm a little bit of a lone wolf. You don't get along with people. It's a beautiful image, the lone wolf, very alpha, very lone hunter, right? One shot, one kill, first recon sniper, Marine Corps. But it's just, in reality, you don't just get along with people. People don't get along with you. It's a difficult thing. So proceed from the future. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's no ways I can change anyway. So it's okay. I like what I do, and I know there's people who support me and follow me. So that's who I am. I like to do. Well, yeah, I'm not certainly changing at 43 years of age almost. I'm not certainly becoming the guy that influences people with tons of thousands of marketing things for a recipe for a cake, or doing cat videos or whatever. It's just me. I will be myself. But I'm noticing for sure, that was my closing line, that the pandemic times had a burst in people wanting to connect in terms of being creative and looking inside themselves to find their muse, and learning how to uh, listen to such muse and put it into art somehow, to communicate something they had inside. Unfortunately, with the pandemic itself, and 2 years later, these people got destroyed by themselves, mostly by people who use them to make money off that, because that was the business during the pandemic. And They are now very aggressive. They're now very frustrated, understandably, because they've been cheated on in a time of weakness, which always happens, obviously. But the times 2020, 2021, 2022 were really hard on being creative. But a lot of people approached being creative more. They wanted to it, and they got blasted with dishonesty and marketing, and they are now very reluctant to get back on track. I sense that a lot. And also, learning new things is tiresome. It's not easy going. It's not, sorry, it's not something that will be fun. Just, it's not like playing a video game. It's not, which I love by all means. It's not like, talking about fishing with a friend, or it takes a lot of energy off you. And because of how the world goes, the wars, the violence, the news, the media, the fact that a lot of people are just being super belligerent and aggressive, we artists, or people who are very sensitive to a lot of things, um, really have a hard time dedicating their time to their day to learning and improving. So if you've done it for years, you realize that it becomes a little bit easier. I mean, it's routine. Although I have to say, I've been struggling myself with concentrating, focusing on learning, and giving myself a hard time to learn something I don't know. It has become harder for me as well, because I keep thinking, what's the point? What's the point of all this? What's the point? What does it matter if they nuke the world tomorrow? Why does it matter? But I keep answering myself, it does matter in the end. And it matters to the people who are supporting me, who are like you're watching these, or, you're paying the patron, sending me donations. I mean, actively sending money. If I think about the fact that somebody is sending me money for how I educate them to be exploring things, be learning new stuff, it's insane. It's insane. And no wonder a lot of people look at a plugin and they say it's a new plugin for $40. Alberto asks for $11. Oh, I'm going to buy the plugin because it's so much fun to use the plugin. Why would I blame the average human doing that? If humanity was different, we wouldn't be here. I would probably not even have the need to do things so hard in such a heartfelt way, right? I mean, having fun is something that we can perceive a lot. Why would people want to pay every month somebody that is going to give them a hard time, telling them that they have to learn these and they don't know that? Not all people can take this. It's a lot of pressure. It used to be a lot of pressure in the 90s, in 2000, 2010, 2024. You're paying somebody to learn what? Piano at 40 years of age? Which wife is going to allow that? Which kid is not? So it's insane, right? Um, so I got a question, and I cannot pronounce your name because I cannot read Cyrillic. I apologize. I would love to study Russian, which I assume your nickname is, just because I read Cyrillic. But I haven't, and so I cannot read it. But it says, "Greetings, Alberto. Hi. Can I ask you a question?" Of course. I've never uploaded music to major platforms yet, so I have no artist ID. Now I'm getting into PRO, IS9, this is how I call them, IPI, ISWC, ISRC, IPN stuff. The main question is how to get a proper monetization as an artist. Oh, okay. This is very hard. I mean, again, you ask me, I will answer, but first and foremost, there are companies, there are associations, there are companies that protect and regulate rights, uh, artist rights and copywriting in your country, no matter where you are. So Germany has GEMA, for example. Italy has SIAE, SIAE. there's different companies that do international copyright rights. I have to go to dinner now. I can hear it when I talk. It's like boo, slowly sleeping. Um, the United States have ASCAP, so you can be registered even in different ones. For years, I was bye, Doug. Have a good one. Catch you up on Discord. For years, I had CI in Italy. I had ASCAP and Gamma now as well. So you can register there. You pay usually a yearly fee, and you're registered as an artist. It depends. In my youth, when I registered for the Italian Copyright Association, I had to pass an exam. But most of the companies these days, once you pay, you're in. But years and years ago, I got registered. I was probably 15. Right. I think 15. I registered as a composer in 94, I think, or 95. But I was 95. So yeah, 15, 14, 15, something like that. And I was super scared because we had these exam to do in which you had to compose on piano and show them what you could do. They removed it 5, 6 years later. And so that's the first one. Now, if you register, I would advise you to consult with that and get registered as an artist. Of course, when you release your music, it will get footprinted or sort of like watermarked, and it will stay there. You send them wave audio files. Usually, you have your dashboard as an artist. You do that. Those files will get in time and ISRC usually, and the other code for the artist EAN and other stuff. So you can use those to input them into the major platforms for digital distribution. Now, you said uploaded music, so you meant major digital distributor platforms, right? So Spotify, Apple, and that. Now that's for having your rights preserved and your music archived. Okay. Now, it doesn't cover how to get your music to the major platforms. Now, I write a lot of music, and most of these music is sketches. So it's 30 seconds to something more, let's say no more than 1 minute, usually 30 seconds of ideas that companies, artists, game developers, gaming companies ask me to. So I get an idea, I get a reference, and I do it. Those sketches I do not copyright. I do not. I don't. Maybe I should. I don't do it. Some countries they don't allow you to do it, but I am because they're too short. Others they do because 30 seconds or 29 is a commercial, so you can do it. But I don't. When I get a license out, when I get the agreement from a company, for example, I don't know, Audi, the car company, or Fox News, or Ubisoft. These are the companies we've been working, or it's Netflix. Netflix, okay? So companies that are affiliated with Netflix and have Netflix distribution and all that stuff, they say, okay, we like these this sketch. Can you build a song out of it? So then I build a song out of that sketch. I start sending the producer team the ideas and the new things. I copyright that song immediately. This is stuff that you do with your national country-based company. ASCAP, GEMA, CI, whatever. Russia has its own for sure. I don't know. So that's one. But this does not put your music on platforms. So I cannot, if a piece of music is licensed to, let's say, a news agents company, for some kind of, I don't know, short interlude that never gets used, but it's licensed, I cannot use it on my own because I've sold it to the exclusive rights for the other company. I have a lot of music that doesn't get picked. And after some time, the tracks I like the most, I like to make records of my own. So if you look future in the past, the outskirts, other stuff, and I'm working now on a new record. That one, I don't go to Spotify. I don't go to Apple Music. I don't go to Tidal. I go to major distributors that just kind of have all of those. So CD Baby, I've used CD Baby for the longest time. It's not cheap. It's a little bit expensive, but I don't know. I've used CD Baby. I like CD Baby. They've been good to me. I don't know. And they will take your music through your dashboard. You will upload everything, and they will give you ISRCs or ISWCs or EAN, that stuff. So the moment you upload your music online and create a record or an EP or a single, those people will give you all the codes. So you can use those codes to register the songs in your local copyright, whatever, association, company, whatever. You can do both. The thing is that your local national company will be super slow. Usually it is super slow in releasing ISRCs compared to uploading your music to, for example, CD Baby. Now, I'm saying CD Baby, I have no affiliation with CD Baby. I don't get anything from them. It's just what I've been using, but there's tons more, and you should look into the different distributors because these managing companies have different rates and money requests from you. Some of them are more expensive initially, but when you release more albums, they are less expensive. If you just do singles, you might do something. If you're a DJ, I don't know, you want to do beatport. If you're like me, you don't care much about beatport, all that stuff. So the moment you pay and you register your record, these companies will need a couple weeks, and then it will start spreading on all the major platforms. So it will be Spotify, Tidal, you name it, Apple Music, all those. And so it gets done by you automatically. You don't call Apple Music and say, "Hi, do you want my record?" It doesn't work that way. Apple Music will get it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe if you're whoever is super famous, it used to be that if you were famous, you had a distributor that would take care of it. But for normal people, you just go to something like a digital distributor, a platform that will spread it to different, how could I say, like portals, gateways, right? The good thing about those is that when a new website comes up, for example, Spotify, somebody makes a different type of Spotify, they will upload your music to that one as well. You will keep being on the most current platforms. So you don't have to do anything about it because they will use your artwork that you submit, the titles of the songs, the WAV files, and they will encode them to different platforms. So they give them to Apple Music. Apple Music makes their own encoding, send them there. So it's two things. These companies that will receive your audio files and create the albums, and then there's the copywriting agency or company in your country, which is a different thing. And I would advise you do both. Okay? So we reached the end of the stream. Ba-bam. Now, how you also asked about monetization. Well, that one is just coming from the revenues from the distributor. For example, CD Baby keeps track of all of my rights, of my royalty playback on YouTube or whatever. So they gather that because they know the watermark of my music. So they know, for example, that you've used a song of mine and your video has 1 million views. I get a share out of that. And so for that reason, then after you get X amount of money, you get a payout, which goes to your bank account. You get an invoice that you do yourself, you send it back to said company, which will probably not care. You upload it to your dashboard and you will never hear from them again. And you take that invoice to register with your tax ID because you say, okay, I am making money from these and I'm registering these in my account for my business as a composer. I am registered in Germany as a composer and piano player. So obviously I do my taxes every year, blah, blah, blah. That's boring. And do not learn how to do taxes from me because I got saved many times from accountants in Germany, the first years that we were here, and Italy as well, because I am not good at it. Well, now I am, because I have people that I just send stuff to and they do it for me, but don't get advice for taxes from me. I don't do it. So, quarter to 8 p.m., dinner's calling by all means. And this was a fantastic stream. I think we touched on to some of the most, or at least the first very controversial stuff, which I love. And the video will be available. If you're probably watching this from the future, this is a video to you. This was a stream to others. I love doing this. I will keep doing Fridays at 6 p.m. It was a blast being here and talking about this stuff. We can do all sort of things. We can do synth exploration. We can do different type of topics. I will probably also have companies send me stuff so that we can do it. You're very welcome for the answer. I'm sorry that I as I said, cannot pronounce your nickname, but you're most welcome. That's why I do this stuff. Ask away, I will answer. If you ask them before a live stream, like it happened for the first questions that I've answered for the longest time, I will do it for the next live stream. I note them down and just take a text file and write them there. And I answer pretty much everything. If I forget, remind me, I will answer them. So it was a blast. We can keep doing these. As I said, we will keep exploring new things. We will keep playing stuff, discussing, I don't know, songs or analysis, or just talking about bands or things we like, or pieces of gear that I like and have. I have a camera that I can move around, a small portable one, so we can point it at gear, talk about whatever, fire up sessions, and it doesn't matter, But I would really like to keep these live stream chill, and I like to talk clearly, right? Well, okay, that's fantastic. That's awesome, beautiful. I thought about 6 p.m. Central European time, but I was maybe 9 p.m. would be better. I will keep 6 p.m. because 9 p.m. to me it's too late, and on a Friday, maybe real people have other plans. Our friends Electric, we don't know. That's a great record, which I suggest. We were talking about it on Discord. Listen to it. It's a beautiful milestone in music. All right. So, but anyway, I'm digressing. So, I want to keep it super chill, and I want to keep it talkative in this sense. I like to fiddle with gear, plugins, synthesizers, piano, digital, whatever. But I think there's a missing brick in this relationship that we have, which I love. But I see from the questions you're asking, like the first one that I got, do you get money from your YouTube public videos? How much do you get? Is it, do people perceive it as dishonest or not? That question to me was like, wow, okay, okay, that's the meat of the talk. And there's a lot of unperceived elements in the YouTube video making stuff. So I'm here. I don't know if the other people like to talk about this stuff or not. You asked these, I answered these, and the answer is in the video. So in this live stream, we'll keep doing it. Okay. Thank you very much again for being here. It was just fantastic. And again, Fridays, Central European time, 6 p.m. We go for 1 hour and a half, 2, because I get questions later on. I know people join eventually. These live streams become videos, and we're, having a good time on Fridays. Thank you very much again. I'm going to cut it here and see you next time. Ciao. I would like to spend 2 words on why this video is possible. It happens because of my patrons. I have a Patreon in which I teach songwriting, scoring for video games and writing soundtracks, being creative, exploring hardware synthesizers, analog outboard, virtual instruments, sample libraries, mixing and mastering. We talk about recording. There's a lot of cool people in there. Check my Patreon out if you would like to support me. It really means a lot to me, and it makes these videos and the future ones possible. So thank you very much.